But here we are, and we're with Laurie. And, remember earlier at the beginning of the show, I said something about having guests uh, concerning the recovery, because we've already fallen off that cliff, and we all, so far, so many of us have survived, and most of us will. And we need to get ready for, not only financially, mentally, spiritually, everything you want to think of, for running through that brick wall when we see the start sign. So taxes are one of those subjects. So let's bring on Laurie, and let's start. So we got two things, two main things people are interested in: taxes and horror films. Which one do we want to start with first?
I know, right? Which one's scarier, Jay?
Well, it used to be taxes for sure, but now that they've put that off, I will tell you, I saw Doctor Sleep, and I thought it was really good, really
Yeah,
good.
I told you about it, remember?
Yeah,
I
and
liked it a lot. Some people didn't, but I enjoyed it a lot.
I don't know why they wouldn't, but it was exactly like. Well, I didn't know before that Stephen King had actually written that, and you know,
Right.
it looks. I mean, it feels like a Stephen King story and book, but it was very, very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
right now we're about halfway through Lighthouse. The Lighthouse.
Is that a movie? Like, is it on Netflix right now?
Yeah, you can get it. You got to rent it, and it's cheap though. But it is a. It's in black and white. It's with William Defoe and that other young kid who think of as a young kid that was in Harry Potter and the Twilight. Was it Twilight, Kathleen?
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Patterson. Robert.
Robert Patterson. And
Oh,
it's all black and white and square to look at. It was filmed with lenses that they're not the look-alike, but the real lenses that were made in the 1930s. So it's got a real spooky look. And I think the first half was really good, mostly relationship. I think the second half is going to be a little more scarier and, whatever it is, and, strange. So I'm getting old. I can't think of the word, but, abnormal or what,
paranormal.
paranormal or whatever like that. So what about yourself? Oh, I see. I started watching The Platform on Netflix, and there's another one called Girl on the Third Floor. It's supposed to be
I,
somewhat.
I saw a girl on third floor. What did you think about that one?
I didn't watch it yet. I just
Oh, you
started.
have.
No. So do you recommend it or no?
Yeah, I liked it. It was, it's pretty gruesome too, but I liked it. So,
Mm,
yeah, it's not for your regular person to watch, I think, but we have a different taste in movies, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I liked it.
very good. Anything else out there that you can think of?
Well, I did end up seeing Parasite. I kind of told you about it last time, I think, briefly.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. You're right about it. So
Thank
I,
you.
yeah, it started out a little bit slow, and had the subtitles, so I didn't really know where it was going. It seemed like it wasn't going to be a horror film, and it did end up being one. So I thought it was really clever too. How it
Hmm.
together.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was very, very outstanding
yeah,
from
exactly.
that.
Yeah, so
So,
now we're not allowed to go to the movies, so we'll have to just find good recommendations on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that.
uh huh. Yep, yep. So when and we will. So we'll get back to some more horror movies. I know Sean was looking for some recommendations also on that. I can't think anything better these days to keep our mind off of horror than a good horror movie, right?
Right. I know.
So we've got the future coming up, and we have changes. Used to say the future coming up. Okay, so we have another day like this, and we'll see what happens. But we have a future coming up that we can actually look forward to when we are going to expand and explode from where we are right now. And finance has a lot to do with it. Taxes have a lot to do with it. And we also have changes that we have to live with right now regards to taxes.
Yeah.
So I'll let you jump in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. So my job title is an enrolled agent. I have a tax business in Fullerton, partners with my father. And so we're both enrolled agents. So we specialize in individual, business, and corporate tax returns, in collections, back taxes, levies, wage garnishments, pretty much anything, any type of tax problems we could resolve. And today the topic that everybody's been asking about, and I've been getting a lot of calls, is this new relief, the new stimulus check. So it's the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, known as the CARES Act. So they will begin distributing $1,200 per individual, $2,400 for married couples, and $500 per child. Now, unfortunately, it's not just for everybody. There are limitations on income, but when isn't there, right, Jay?
Yeah.
So
Now let me ask you what maybe it's on my mind, maybe on several others. I'm almost self-employed. I'm an independent contractor. Do I count?
yes, you do. So that's the really neat thing about it. It's actually including self-employed and individual contractors.
Hmm.
As long as you're under the income thresholds, though. So the individual income threshold is $75,000, and it phases out above that amount up to 99,000. Once you reach that limit, then you don't get the $1,200
Well,
check.
that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
and then
if
married couples,
you're
the same.
like me that hasn't done anything about 2019 until October, uh, they would go back to the 2018 and take a look at what
Right.
was there.
Right, exactly. Some people are really worried, because not everybody's filed their 2019, especially because we've been granted an extension to July 15th. So even if you haven't filed your 2019, it's perfectly okay. They will go based off your 2018 tax returns. Now, there are people that haven't filed their 2018, even so their last return was 2017 filed. So I am urging those people to definitely file their taxes,
Yeah.
either 18 or 19. And then for married couples, it starts phasing out as well after $150,000, up to $198,000. So there are obviously, once you reach over that income threshold, then you don't qualify
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
Another
that's the bottom line, right? Like I'm a Schedule C, so it's not the top line; it's the bottom. It's adjusted gross, right?
exactly the net profit, yeah, that they're going to base it off. Another
Right.
really good thing about this, because some people are worried that they didn't file taxes because they get Social Security or disability,
Yeah. Right.
so they qualify as well. So even if they haven't filed taxes for obvious reasons, they don't have that filing requirement, they still can get these checks for
Okay.
stimulus.
Good.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good thing. Now, this is another question I've been getting a lot because people have moved since, let's say, their 2018 tax year. So you can submit a change of address form. The IRS has it, so you could just look up the change of address form and submit it right away. And then another thing is they are going to be depositing directly to your bank account. So a lot of people don't know this. They're not sure. They think it's going to be a check in the mail. And actually, if you filed your return in 2018 or even 2019 with a direct deposit to the refund, that's how you'll receive the stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you just chose to receive or you owed, this is another question that I get, is what if I owe? Will I still qualify? Absolutely. Or what if, you have a balance, from older tax liability, you still qualify for the stimulus check. So that's another really good thing about it. Now,
So even if you owe from 20 years ago,
uh-huh. Yeah. So even if you
very large amounts. I don't know anybody like that, but
yeah, we don't know anybody like that. But yeah, so even if you owe from many years ago, you still qualify. And like I said, another good thing is independent contractors do qualify for this
Okay,
because
good. Good.
there's a lot of like Uber drivers or DoorDash, all those types of independent jobs. Thankfully, they qualify as well. One group of people that don't qualify are people with ITINs. That's an individual taxpayer identification number. That's basically for people that don't have social security numbers, but they have this identification number to file taxes. Unfortunately, so it's mostly undocumented people. Unfortunately, they will not qualify. Another thing is too, unemployment. Those unemployment benefits are extended by adding $600 per week up to 4 months. So it helps out those folks too. Also for small businesses, they approved $10 billion to the SBA, to the Small Business Administration, in emergency grants. So people could visit their website and see about applying for a small business loan. So it will give them relief in terms of operating costs, maybe keeping their employees on payroll, things like that. Because a lot of people, including me and you, we work from home now, so it could definitely be available for these employers to still pay their employees, keep them on payroll.
Right. Right.
Home. Another thing too is these deadlines. They've gotten a little confusing as to what's owed when and all that stuff. So it is extended.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because so you don't have to file an extension. If you believe that you're going to file your taxes before July 15th, you don't have to file an extension. However, this is an extension to also, there's no penalties and interest up to this date. So that's a neat thing. Now, the states still don't necessarily conform to this deadline. For example, the state of California, their deadline is June 30th. So you can file up to June 30th, and pay. I'm sorry, I said June 30th, June 15th. So you don't have to pay until that date.
So that's 2 months, 60 days or 61 days official.
Right. And I mean, everything seems to be kind of like on a to be determined, we don't know what's going to happen.
Because we don't know how long this will take.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully not too much longer, but obviously we want to keep everybody safe and, not make this matters any worse. Another good thing too, I've had a lot of clients call me. They're worried that have current installment agreements. So those have been suspended, thankfully, from April until July 15th. Did you hear the dog in the background?
Yeah, let's see it. What is it? A he or a she? I forget. Yeah.
It's my mom's dog. I have Prince. I've been bringing Prince here. My doggy. He's here spoiled every single day, but I had to leave him. He's just a whole ball of energy. He wouldn't have left me alone. He probably would have been on my lap right now.
Yeah. Well, why not? It's but does he get outside?
Yeah. I left him at home outside, but yeah, he's
okay.
Too much to handle sometimes. So as far as people that have the installment agreements in place, don't worry about it. You are given until after July 15th. They'll start the collection process again. Another thing is, unfortunately, again because of this coronavirus outbreak, the IRS closed as of Monday. So if you have any pending issues, collection letters, whatever it may be, they're not proceeding with collecting, anything. They're just not open, so they can't help you at this time.
They can't hurt you either, though, right?
Yeah, they can't. There's nothing that can be done because I know some people have gotten letters like from levy or intent to, levy or garnishments. They can't really do anything, and you can't call them to fix anything at this time either. Another thing is that the Department of Education student loan payments have been deferred through September 30th, so that helps some students, and that don't have the money to make the payments. As far as these checks and this money, that's another important question is they are anticipating, I believe it's in about 3 weeks that this money is supposed to go out by direct deposit or by mail.
Uh-huh.
So, just very importantly, of course, is just to file your returns, 2018 or 2019, whatever.
Yeah, if you have them ready to go, send them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They'll just sit there in a digital file probably until I get back. Exactly. But I assume if you're one of those people who are actually looking for a refund, which is not a wonderful thing because it means you overpaid them.
Right.
which is money you could better use right now. But if you are expecting a refund, I assume the nearer the top of the pile, the better for you. So
Right.
get your returns in. Call Laurie right now and get your returns in.
Yes, yes. Actually, that gives me another important message. People can go on my website. Obviously, we're doing everything remotely. We have a secure tax cloud. People can upload their documents on there. Security is very important. So once they upload their documents, we give them a call back and we schedule a phone appointment. We haven't seen any person, any taxpayer come in the office since they put that safe, stay at home um, order. So we've been just doing everything over the phone, electronically, email, so it hasn't
Yeah.
interrupted business very much, to be honest with you. Thankfully, because I service a lot of other states outside of California, so people don't come in and see me necessarily. So, but yeah, we could do everything. So our website is www.eliasincometax.com. Our phone number is 714-773-4000. Our lines are being forwarded here. Now, this is a little different, but I will give out my cell phone number. I am replying to text messages and phone calls. I'm getting them all day. It's been pretty busy for me, but my cell phone number to contact me is 714-457-6350. Again, 714-457-6350. So I could definitely answer any more questions, even small businesses, LLCs, S corps. They are honored with this July 15th deadline. I'm
Right.
having a lot of questions, of
Yeah.
who qualifies for what loan. And so, I'm able to give more details over the phone,
Yeah.
right? Kind of want to give like a basic,
Yeah.
that's
Your basic little flyer with contact information is on the screen right now
okay, perfect.
for those thousands of people who are at home now watching instead of just listening.
Uh-huh. Right. Exactly. I know I try
Yeah.
to put more information out on my Instagram, to my clients to listen.
Yeah.
And yeah, my clients have been really, really great. They've been working, with me with this whole change, and so a lot of people like to sit down in person with the appointments, but they've been very good with,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
I've been using a lot of, face to face time on the, for a long time with my closer friends. I do use, the video calling on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Although half of my friends, because of our age, don't know what that is, and that's because most of us don't want to be looked at anyway. But now it's a kind of a different thing out there, and
Yeah.
I would really, and earlier in the show, really recommended start using. Well, we use Skype here on the station, but whether it's Skype or Zoom, which I like a lot, or the easiest, really, but you got to be on Google. I mean, the easiest for me is Hangouts. You know, just a regular Google Hangouts. It's
Oh,
so easy. One button and you're connected with somebody and you're saying hello face to face.
oh,
And Zoom is real easy on for group calls.
I see. Yeah, I've used Zoom before. A lot of my clients, but with my clients that we just do everything over the phone. But I know for meetings, Zoom is pretty good. So I've
Yeah, even for oldies, like because I work with a lot of reverse mortgage people, and they're very comfortable with we call it technology, but in reality, it's just communication. I mean, a telephone was big time communication technology at one time. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think regardless of if it's older folks or not, they've gotten a lot more comfortable too with doing everything like now, over the phone, email, and using these links and secured sites and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
a lot more comfort level with that.
right.
So,
Now,
okay.
what about when this breaks loose and we go, any words of wisdom tax wise? I mean, I just think of, let's see, what can I start spending money? If I get money, what do I start spending on? And what's still taxable? What isn't? What difference will there be when the sun comes up again? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, basically, I mean, if you're a business owner, small business, 1099, you could basically still write off all the expenses that relate to your business. Um, just about everything. Really, the only thing that was eliminated was entertainment, but just, I mean, your mileage, travel. phone, internet. If you rent, you can write off a portion of your home business. If you own a home, there it's a different calculation as far as
Yeah. Now, since we own a home, I was always told by my whoever was doing my taxes, which was usually some different person every year because they couldn't stand looking at it for more than 1 year at a time, is to never write off any of the house as my office, even though it really is, because it's just a red flag. Is that's probably still the case?
No, no, no. It's not a red flag. It's actually if it's just renting and you legitimately do have your office space, you run your business from there, you don't have another, business location where you work out of full time, then yes, absolutely, you can write it.
And whether you own or rent, correct?
Yeah, whether you own or rent. It is treated differently though, at the end for tax purposes when you sell a home though, because you've been taking that deduction for the home office. So that's a different calculation. So I always tell people the differences of if you do claim it or if you don't. So that's something again that's discussed on an individual part. But yeah, I mean everything could still be written off. That's legitimate for the expense. For employees, unfortunately, they can't do write-offs with the IRS, but you can still do it for the state. So I always
Really?
people, yeah, it's just as long as you meet thresholds again, you always have to ask about that. Even like for medical expenses, you have to meet the
Yeah.
7.5%. You know, uh,
Because, if you work for a company, even some big companies, they don't have offices. You work out of your home.
right, right.
And unfortunately, those people can't. Well, maybe that's because they were never expected to have an office. I don't know.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. So I think with the changes that have happened and people are having a home office expenses, and if you're not reimbursed for your employer, just keep track of that because you might be able to deduct them next year with the state because the state does allow these itemized deductions. So that's something that might be a little bit of a benefit in terms of write-offs. So that's something to keep in mind. But from there on, I mean, I think. I think most filers that wanted a refund have already filed, but there's still a lot of people that are maybe just kind of holding off or, concerned about paying or whatever, to
Uh
the
huh.
IRS. So, but yeah, it's just kind of better to know. A lot of clients too, they've just gotten an estimate. Okay, what am I going to owe? What am I looking at? And just have held off in filing right now. So, just we can always still do the payment plan, so you don't have to be scared about having to pay all at once. My goal always with any one of my clients is I always get them on either estimated tax payments or we change their withholdings or we can do on the W-4 form you can choose to pay higher federal withholdings on there. So in the end, after a year, after 2 years, people actually, my clients have been really great and listening to me. So the goal is at least a break even, if you've owed in the past.
Yeah, because when I was brought up, it was brought up to, oh my God, you're getting a refund. That's wonderful. No, it's not wonderful. You're getting the refund, but I already spent the money
Right.
because I didn't give it to them in the first place. And I give it to them. When I give it to them, I don't charge interest.
Yeah.
But when they give it to me, what is it, 20% interest?
Uh, when they give it to you? Oh God, no.
You,
No,
you know,
it's free.
no, when I owe them.
Oh, when
So
you
it's
owe,
like when they're giving me money that they think they should keep,
yeah.
they charge me interest, right? Interest
Exactly. Yeah. They charge you interest, and unfortunately, it's compounded interest.
and
So
it's about, well, everything's compound. I mean, I understand that, but I mean, what is it, 20% or something like that?
no, no, no. Their interest rate is I haven't checked recently, but typically they're a little bit lower. It's on the between like 4 and 5% interest rate. So
Still adds up, doesn't it?
yeah, no, it definitely adds up. So yeah, that's another thing I always tell people to just do a payment plan where, it's a fixed amount of time, and hopefully the following year you don't owe again. So it doesn't.
Wow, I was just looked at the clock on my computer. I had no idea it was this. We've already just about run out of time. So before we do run out of time, thank you so much for taking over today and making this happen with such good and timely advice for everyone. Now, what horror movies are coming out that you know of? Or, unfortunately, I bet they're going to slow things down because nobody's going to theaters, right?
Right, right. They close theaters. So I mean, I haven't even seen any ads, but honestly, I've been buried in work, so I
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see when they open again, and I really can't wait. Well, there's when it becomes normal again, and we can go to the movies, go to like nice restaurants again,
Yeah.
with the better appreciation, right?
Yeah. 1 minute, but at least my our Disneyland passes. Although Disneyland is closed for every day they're closed, they're extending the period of time on the passes.
Oh, that's good. That's
But
nice.
these horror movies or any other movies, I guess there's other kind of movies, right? I'm
Yeah,
not sure. I think there's other types of movies. I mean,
yeah,
up till now we've been able to see them at home. If not, I bet now they won't even release them.
right. I
Oh
know.
well,
Yeah,
but
I'll try to keep more movies in mind. Now that we
yeah.
have
And
it.
just before we go, I remember I was recommending The Lighthouse.
Uh-huh.
The guy that directed The Lighthouse, Eggers, I think his name was, he had also done Witch, or the one with VVITCH, which I thought was really good. Witch, you remember that?
No.
About it was in the 1800s, and it was, oh, there's the music. Just like at the Academy Awards, the music's playing to pull us, get that hook out and get us off stage. Thank you again so much.
Empecé un pequeño rample